Bam. My peoples. My peoples. The Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach saga continues. We're still up in the air with regards to the New York State Athletic Commission and what they're going to decide after their review has been completed. Let's talk about it, my peoples. We've been talking about it for the last few days. Fans are split when it comes to what's going to happen. Many fans are saying, hey, they're going to leave it as is. Some are saying it because, they don't want the decision to be overturned. And some are talking about it from a business aspect where they feel like, you know what, it's too much money on the line. It's not going to happen. Tank Davis is the face of boxing, or he's one of the most famous guys in the sport. So they feel like the decision will not be overturned because of that. And then you have a lot of fans that are saying, wait a minute, the right call was not made during the fight. And if the New York State Athletic Commission is going to make the right decision, then they're going to overturn it. So, fans are split between those who feel like the decision is going to be overturned and those who say there's no way it's going to stay as is. We have to see. Yo, shout out to the first person who dropped in on the live. Appreciate you, big dog. And let's get it, man. Let's get it. This is a topic of conversation that's all over social media. Yo, even people who don't follow the sport of boxing are talking about it. You know how big it is when platforms that don't normally talk about boxing are talking about Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. So this is a pretty big deal. And we're gonna see how it ends up, man. I have my own opinion. I feel like the New York State Athletic Commission is gonna overturn the decision, and I simply feel that way because I personally reviewed the rules of boxing, and I know for a fact that if you put your knee down, that is an automatic point deduction. And to my understanding, they're actually reviewing round number 9, what took place. So there was more than a discrepancy in round number 9. And that's why, fans are so split in between. There's a lot of fans that are saying it will be overturned and Lamont Roach will be awarded the W. And then there's also a lot of fans that are saying, no, it's not going to be overturned. Tank Davis is the star. He's the face of boxing. We're going to find out. Pastor J, they better overturn it. I mean, if they're going to do the right thing, if they're going to follow the rules of boxing, they're going to overturn it. That's why I made that prediction 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I said, listen, in my opinion, they're going to overturn it. Their back is up against the wall. They already admitted that a mistake was made. You see, a lot of fans don't know that in New York, they have instant replay. They have it. So they could have replayed it and say he took a knee. That's a point deduction. And the New York State Athletic Commission already acknowledged that they were not able to do the instant replay because they had a technical glitch. So they couldn't do anything but allow the fight to continue. Now that they already admitted that they couldn't review it because of a technical glitch, and that should have been a point deduction, what do you do with that review? What are you going to decide? And I was saying this to fans yesterday, my people, so I want y'all to keep in mind. Shout out to everybody who jumped in on this live. I said yesterday, if they decide to leave it as is, my peoples, they setting a precedent. That means that from here on out, any fighter could take a knee mid-round and nothing could happen. John Parham, what's the deal, my brother? Good to have you in. I don't know if y'all seen it, man, but there's also a lot of people saying that the decision was already made and nothing is going to happen. Why? Why are they saying that? Because the WBA caused a misunderstanding amongst fans. The WBA said, hey, look, the referee, we don't think he was being biased. And in our opinion, that's it. We should just pursue the rematch, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to pursue the rematch. But the WBA, a lot of people don't understand, they don't have a say in this matter. The WBA does not get to decide anything when it comes to that review. They're a sanctioning body, and they're going to be biased towards Tank Davis because Tank Davis is the champion. He's the one who makes them the most money. For those fans who don't know, the WBA, they get a fee from the champion every time that champion defends their title. So it's to their convenience for the champion to be Tank Davis because he's the guy who makes the most money in the 135 division. They want to keep him on as a champion, but they're not the one reviewing, my peoples. Cam J Cam J Network. What's the deal, my brother? Appreciate you dropping in, and I'm still asking the magic question. You know, for you guys who are on here, what y'all think is gonna happen, man? Are they gonna overturn the decision, or are they gonna leave it as is? You know, many of us hardcore boxing fans, you know, people who love the sweet science, we go by the rules. We want the rules to be followed, not just for Tank Davis, but for every other fighter. The rules apply to everybody. Once you give favoritism, you allow people to say things like the sport is rigged, the fights are not fair, they give the results to the champions no matter what. And if people start feeling like the sport is fake, then the integrity of the sport of boxing is in question. If you allow Tank Davis to take a knee with no repercussions, then you're affecting the integrity of the game. You're saying, no, the rules don't apply to this guy. This guy can take a timeout if he feels like it. And it should not be that way. Broke up over boxing, 860. Salute, my brother. Good to have you on. So, to clarify for everybody, you know, because I've been seeing that in social media, even fans telling me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. They already made their decision. There was somebody on this live yesterday telling me, nah, they already, the athletic commission made the decision and they're not going to do anything. No, my peoples, it don't go like that. The New York State Athletic Commission, when they make their ruling, we're all going to find out. That thing is going to be viral. They're going to be talking about in every boxing site, every boxing page, every boxing platform is going to be talking about it when they render a decision. I promise you. Cam J Network at work right now. We got to do a live stream soon and talk boxing. Keep going, bro. I see you working. I appreciate you, my brother. Reach out to me. Hit me in the comment section. Let's link up. We're going to make it happen. That's one thing, my peoples. If you in the sport of boxing and you know about the sweet science and you want to link up, let's get it in, my peoples. We working. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, yo, why is it that there's so many fans who care more about a single fighter than they do about the sport of boxing? I don't know. You know, but if you're saying I don't care about the rules, then you're suggesting that you care more about a fighter than you care about the sport itself. And I've been watching boxing long enough to tell you, my peoples, no one fighter is bigger than the sport itself. I mean, think about it. What's going to happen when Tank Davis retires from the sport of boxing? He's 30 years old. And even though he's been talking about retirement, I don't think he's going to retire right now. But let's say he retires in 4 years, 5 years, when he's 35 years old. Tank Davis fans, are y'all going to stop watching boxing because he retired? I don't think so. I think you're going to keep watching it, right? So the sport of boxing was there before Tank Davis came around, and it's going to still be there when he's gone. So you're only focusing on defending him and wanting him to keep the title and want to argue in his favor. But at the end of the day, the sport of boxing is what we're all supposed to be a fan of. Broken up over boxing 860 says, I think personally we have seen things like this too many times. That's why they saying some of the things. They're saying, and you know what? We've seen a lot of fighters get robbed, but I think that this is a little bit different because a judge decision cannot be put into question. You know, once a fighter get robbed because of the judges' scorecards, that's not up for review. It's done. It's a done deal. But what happened on Saturday is different because there was a point deduction that should have taken place and it just didn't. So you have to wonder. Love more Hinduism. We got Kermel Moulton on deck. Yo, Kermel Moulton, that's my guy. I promise you, that's my guy. You know, I hit him up privately, and he knows how I feel about him. I've been supporting Kermel since he was an amateur boxer. In fact, if you check my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've done videos about Kermel, and he know how I feel about him. That's one of my favorite fighters, and I tell people, Kermel Moulton, he's the future of the sport of boxing. His time is gonna come. You know, I got Shakur coming up next, and then Kermel Moulton, he's gonna take over. His time is gonna come, my peoples. You know, that's a young lion, and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, they put him in front of him, he get him out of there. He put the beats on him. So, Kermel Moulton, man, anybody who's not paying close attention to him, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna miss out on him doing a lot of special things in the sport of boxing. And we already, you know, you could watch Kermel for one round, and if you understand boxing, you know he's a special fighter. Very special fighter. So shout out to Kermel Moulton. He know how I feel about him. Trust me, my peoples. But like I was saying, man, with this whole situation with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, it's getting real chippy. You know, we even got fans disrespecting each other over this fight. Telling people that they don't know nothing about boxing, calling each other casuals, and all type of stuff. Broken up over boxing 860. Kermel needs a little more seasoning. I mean, of course, he's in a development process. You know, he's 18 years old. So, you know, he's still in that development process, but you can already see future greatness in Kermel Moulton. And you know how I know that he's going to be great? Because he got his father right there with him. He not just going crazy. He not going to be in the head like, oh, I'm making money. Let me go get drunk. Let me go get high. Let me do all this crazy shit. Because a lot of time, talented fighters, they fall because they don't have the right people around them. They don't have someone to keep them grounded, to keep them on a straight arrow. Yo, Kermel got his pops right there. And guess what? A couple of years ago, Kermel Moulton's pops stopped drinking and stopped smoking to specifically focus on his son and himself. Yo, when you got people focused like that, they can't be stopped. Ain't nothing you could do about it. Ain't nothing you could do about what Kermel is going to accomplish in the sport of boxing, my peoples. You see, Christian Wolfen says, just like Adrian Broner, that's how he fell off. You see what I'm saying? Adrian Broner could have been, he could have been one of the greats of his era. Adrian Broner could have been one of the greats of his era. But what happened when he started seeing all that money? Oh, now he became about the billions. Now he started partying more, hanging out with chicks, getting twisted, and he went downhill. By the time he lost to Maidana, come on, my peoples, if we watch that fight, yeah, he got beat up by Maidana, but can we honestly say that Marcos Maidana is a more talented fighter than Adrian Broner? Can we say that? Hell no, my peoples. Hell no. Marcos Maidana isn't a more talented fighter than Adrian Broner. What he was is a guy with heart, a guy with balls, a guy with determination, a guy that wouldn't stop coming forward and throwing punches. That's what he was. Every once in a while in boxing, we'll see a guy with less talent that he'll be able to beat a more talented fighter, or for his balls, or for his grit. That's Marcus Maidana. But skill for skill, he don't got nothing for Broner. He don't got a better jab. He's not a better combination puncher. He don't got better footwork. He don't got nothing better than Broner. Love more Hinduism. Relentless. You hit the nail in the head, my brother. Marcus Maidana was relentless. El Chino. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why he was able to beat Adrian Broner and beat other fighters. He wasn't the most talented guy in the ring. He was just relentless. And if you wasn't disciplined, if you wasn't on your game, if you wasn't doing what you was supposed to be doing in training camp, Marcus Maidana was going to beat your ass. As simple as that, my people. Yo, appreciate everyone who hit that like button. I see a few more people subscribe to the channel today already. Yo, it's like I'm getting mad love from the boxing community, man, and I really appreciate that, man. That even made me feel emotional because when I started this, a lot of people, they just wasn't giving me that love. And now I see, people sharing my channel, people telling other people, yo, subscribe to this channel. This is where it's at. And I'm going to tell you something, my peoples. I'm already building my studio because this is how it goes, man. A lot of times you don't got support from nobody. I'm doing it all for the muscle, my people. So I'm building my own studio. So, you see me right here in this setting where I'm in a balcony. It's the balcony in my own house. You may even sometimes hear some birds in the background and everything. But I'm building my studio. So soon enough, you're going to see me in my studio with a nice little background and all that. We working on that. This is only going to be getting better from here on out. But I appreciate the love the boxing community is giving me, my peoples. For real, for real, for real. Now, I digress. When it comes to the subject of the New York State Athletic Commission reviewing Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach, I believe that they got their back up against the wall right now. Right now. Broke up over boxing, 860 says, all you got to do is talk real boxing. And that's what I try to do, my brother. I don't take sides. I'm not hating on nobody. Notice, by me simply saying, yo, the boxing commission has to follow the rules, Tank Davis fans, not all of them, but some Tank Davis fans get mad at me. And they say things like, nah, you a hater, you a hater. Why would I be a hater for wanting to protect the integrity of the sport of boxing? Don't you know that I want boxing to be great? And in fact, I predicted Tank Davis was going to knock Lamont Roach out in the 8th round or before that. I don't want my prediction to be wrong, my peoples. My bread and butter is to be able to predict 10 fights and for all 10 of them to come through. Because then people say, golly, his predictions don't play. I got that prediction wrong, my peoples. I don't want to predict wrong. I was wrong. I thought Tank was going to beat him. But if I watched the fight live, just like you guys did, and I felt like he lost, even without the knee, I felt like Tank Davis lost that fight. Without the knee, to me, he lost. Pierre Oliver Dallier says the rematch will be different. I respect that, my brother. Maybe the rematch will be different. Now, from that first fight, I don't see why the rematch will be different. Yesterday, a lot of people told me, in the rematch, Tank Davis is going to knock him out. Yo, there's nothing to tell me that Tank is going to knock him out from the first fight. He didn't hurt Lamont Roach in the first fight. He didn't drop him in the first fight. He didn't catch him with a punch with that counter uppercut that he's knocked out a bunch of people with. Not even once he didn't catch him with that punch. So what leads me to believe that Tank is going to knock him out in the next fight? Nothing. I don't believe he's going to knock him out. As a matter of fact, I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to post my ticket so that y'all can see it. For the next fight, I'm going to bet money on Lamont Roach to win. John Parham, it's not Tank fans. It's Tankomaniacs. That's a new phrase. I had never heard that one, Tankomaniacs. Because listen, there's a lot of Tank fans that they are keeping it real. In this same live, we've seen Tank fans say, listen, I'm a fan of Tank Davis, been a fan of his, but I saw him losing that fight. I'm keeping it real. So you know how serious it is when Tank Davis fans are telling, yo, I I saw him lose this fight. Broke up over boxing 860 says there are no signs of a knockout in the next fight. I think it will be a decision victory for either fighter. I think that's fair. I think it could go either way. I'm going for Lamont Roach simply because the way this fight played out, I think the next one will play out very similar. And Lamont Roach walking out with the W. I really feel that way. Hash bias datus. If they starting to overturn decision, then they gotta overturn Canelo Lara or Usyk Dubois. Come on, man. You see? Right there what you're saying is that you're a Tank Davis fan wanting to defend Tank Davis. Why? Canelo versus Lara was never up for review. Usyk versus Dubois was never up for review. Tank versus Roach is up for review. So when you start bringing all the fights, they need to change this and they need to change that. Those fights are not up for review. So that's just your own way of wanting to defend Tank Davis. Come on now. And not only that, Canelo versus Lara, there was no rules broken. The judges' decisions are not up for review right now. Nobody's reviewing the judge's decision. They're reviewing the referee's decision not to deduct the points. So Canelo versus Lara got nothing to do with this fight. The same thing with Usyk Dubois. There was a low blow, and some people thought it was low, some people thought it wasn't. That is up to the referee's discretion. The referee ruled that it was a low blow. That's it. It was a low blow. That's not up for review, my brother. But putting a knee down is up for review because that's clearly a point deduction that was missed. So you see, Hasbas Datus, you're not understanding the difference between something that is up for review and something that isn't. Canelo versus Lara and Usyk versus Dubois, nothing happened in that fight that made it reviewable. Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach, you watch Tank take a knee, my brother. You watch Tank turn his back on his opponent and the referee. You watch Tank put his head outside the ring and his corner wipe his face. You watch that, my brother. That's reviewable. Don't compare other things to try to defend Tank Davis, my peoples. Now, Frank is saying the commission won't overturn it because of the money involved. I respect that, Frank. If you feel that way, I respect that. But all I want you guys to think, my peoples, is the following. Please consider the following. Salute, young date. You're 100% correct, man. I appreciate you, my brother. I want you to think the following, my peoples, to everybody, and not even to everybody, because it's really mostly Tank Davis fans that are saying, oh, it won't be overturned or they can't overturn it. So I'm going to say this to everybody, my peoples. If you agree that they should not overturn it, then do you feel like from here on out, every fighter should be able to take a knee mid-fight? Do you think that's okay? Do you know what that would do to the sport of boxing if every fighter can now take a knee? Young Dade, he also had a red mark on his eye after the jab. You see, that's what a lot of people, Young Dade, don't understand. And I'm going to tell you what a lot of people just simply not understanding. And this is serious stuff. When the New York State Athletic Commission reviews what happened, they're looking at the tape. They're looking at the different angles. They're looking at it in slow motion. So they're going to see something that a lot of you guys may not have seen or may not be aware of. This is no cap. There's already a video out there that's showing an angle where this happens. Tank Davis took a jab right in the eye, and this has happened, my peoples. Boom! And when he took the jab, he went like this. And took a knee right away. So So even though he said it was the hair grease, it wasn't. He took a jab in the eye. And that jab, Roach may have had Vaseline in the glove from punching each other. And maybe that Vaseline burned his eye. But it was a jab, my people. It was not no hair Vaseline like he said. And the New York Athletic Commission is going to see that in the review. They're going to see it in the replay. The same video that I saw that shows Tank Davis take a jab and go like that and take a knee, the New York State Athletic Commission is going to see it too. So while everybody's just saying, nah, they're not going to overturn it, ask yourself, do you want a sport of boxing where fighters could just take a knee whenever they want? Take a timeout. Walk to the corner, get their face wiped. Do you really want a sport of boxing where they do that? Yo, that shit will literally ruin the sport of boxing. We want boxing to turn into soccer. You know how soccer players do? You tap them and they're like, You want the sport of boxing to turn into that? Where you could just take a knee if you feel like it. Time out. Come on, my peoples. That's something that we could see at a boxing gym. I've been to a boxing gym where somebody gets something in their eye. Yo, time out. Let me clean my eye out. Cool, in a boxing gym. But in a world title fight, live where the whole world is watching, you taking a timeout? Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. Hash Baz. At the moment, it's a possibility the ref didn't see it. And ain't no replay on live boxing. And no, we don't need timeout. Hash Baz, let me tell you something that you're not aware of. In New York, there is instant replay. I never cap, my brother. You could Google it, you could look it up. There is instant replay in New York. The New York State Athletic Commission is actually letting everybody know. We were not able to do instant replay at that moment because we had a glitch in our system. And that's why we're reviewing it right now. My brother, I promise you, I never cap. I don't make stuff up. I don't say nothing for likes or for views or none of that. There is instant replay in New York. So what should have happened when he took that knee and the referee didn't count, they should have instant replayed it and watched it and say, wait a minute, that's a point deduction. Blessings from Castaño, La Máquina de Santos, Can-Am. Yo, salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in with us. So there you go, my peoples. Yes, there is instant replay in New York. There is, 100%. Raw Dog says Virgil versus Bohachuk had a review. There you have it. Yes, my peoples, there's instant replay in New York where the fight took place. And I promise you, Timothy Reese, you making sense. If they let this slide, it will open up the door for everybody else. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody, my peoples. If they leave it as is, you're setting a precedent that can ruin the sport of boxing. Because now you're telling people, guess what? If you take a punch, or if you feel like you might get knocked out, if you're taking a lot of punishment, take a knee. Step back so that it won't be from a punch. Take a step back. And when you got that distance between you and your opponent, take a knee. Imagine if everybody start doing that. Ben Sanders says they're not going to overturn it. So I ask you, Ben Sanders, my brother, respectfully, I respect your opinion as I respect everybody's. Do you feel like from here on out, every other fighter should take a knee if they want to? You tell me if everybody should be able to take a knee. The rules of boxing should be put above every single fighter. It's as simple as that. How? Yoda says it'll be hard for fighters to take big fights in NYC. No, of course not. Why? It's not like fighters are saying, yo, I'm going to break the rules over there, and they need to let me slide with that. Fighters don't go around breaking the rules, my brother. Fighters don't go around taking a knee for no reason. Tank Davis took a knee and paused the action, but who else does that? Who else does that? Yoda says, do you think that would happen in Vegas? I don't know. That right there would be speculation. But the fight was not in Vegas. The fight was in New York. A rule of boxing was broken and it's under review. You see what Raw Dog is saying? It's a matter of right and wrong. So instead of just wanting to defend Tank Davis no matter what, defend, what are the rules of boxing? And should they be followed? Because that's what you don't see, my peoples. In wanting to defend Tank Davis, you want to break the rules, man. Come on now. Ben Sanders, it's in the rule book. If something wrong with your uniform, take a knee. People blaming Tank instead of the ref. My brother, Ben Sanders, what you just said is a lie. It's not in the rule book. Some Tank Davis fan took a snippet from Google and posted it, and you believe it's in the rule book. That's not in the rule book. I can show you the actual real rule. In fact, what you're saying is in the rule book. It's a viral snippet that went from a Tank Davis fan that is literally fake news. It even says, you know, it's so fake that it says the fighter could take a knee if they got something in their eye. Bro, what rule is gonna take if you got something in your eye? Are you crazy? Like, that was a fake snippet that fooled you into believing that it was a rule. No such rule. The real rule states that if a fighter takes a voluntary knee, it's an automatic point deduction. That's the real rule. There's no such thing as a rule saying, oh, if there's something wrong with your uniform, and if something is wrong with your eye, you could just take a knee. Yo, the moment you read somewhere that it says if something's wrong with your eye, you could take a knee, you should have already known that was a Tank Davis fan. Right there. No rule talk about if you got some. Yo, you imagine when fighters get cut in their eye and they bleeding all over their eye. Now they could take a knee because they bleeding. The real reason he took a knee is because he took a stiff jab right in the eyeball. And it maybe has some Vaseline and it burned. But guess what? When that happens, you got to fight through it. And at the end of the round, go to your corner, have them clean it out. That's what's really supposed to happen. How do you explain the replay equipment malfunction? My brother, I don't work for the New York State Athletic Commission. That's not something that I could explain because I don't know. But I do know that they specifically said they had a glitch with their equipment and they were not able to replay it at the time. But since you asked me that question, I asked you a question. How do you explain a review of round number 9? What do you think they're doing with that review? Are they just going to review for no reason? Like, yeah, we're reviewing it, but it's a waste of time. Or they're reviewing it because they can't overturn. Why do you think they're reviewing? Hash Baz, what fight you ever saw that the ref decision didn't stand? So again, you're focusing on other fights. What fight did you see that a fighter took a knee and there was no point deduction? Your question doesn't make sense because you're asking about historical data like we all memorize every single fight, or like fighters are going around taking a knee. Fighters don't go around asking for a timeout in the middle of a fight, my brother. What fight have you seen where a fighter took a timeout like that? Fernando Figueroa, I'm glad I got this channel recommended non-biased boxing conversation. Yo, Fernando Figueroa, I appreciate you, my brother. And that's real talk, man. This is not about being biased. This is not about hating on Tank Davis or hating on no fighter. If you love the sweet science, if you love the sport of boxing, the rules are more important than any single fighter. Divine Intelligence, they need to review the fight because Roach took a knee. So what you're saying, Divine Intelligence, if you want to defend Tank, you could defend him, but don't lie. You don't have to lie to try to defend him. When you lie, it shows that you're wrong, and it shows that you're being a Tank Davis fan. Lamont Roach never took a knee, a voluntary knee. What happened with Lamont Roach is that they clinched and Tank Davis pushed his neck down, put his weight on him like this and pushed him down, and that's how he went down into a knee. He got right back up, and they kept fighting. How are you going to say he took a knee like Tank Davis, bro? You're lying. That's a lie. Lamont Roach never took a knee. Tank Davis pushed him down onto his knee, and he got right back up. And the funny thing is that Tank Davis fans, when Tank pushed him down and Roach landed on his knee, Tank Davis fans took a picture of that, of him on the knee, and started spreading that around social media. Fake news. You know that somebody's wrong when they're spreading fake news. Divine intelligence, you spreading fake news, my brother. No. You saw a screenshot of Lamont Roach on his knee. But how did he get to his knee? Did he go down on the knee like Tank Davis? Time out? Or will he push down onto his knee and got right back up and kept fighting? So no, he did not take a knee, my brother. Maybe you're not lying on purpose, but you're spreading a lie, because that did not happen. Lamont Roach never took a voluntary knee, ever, during that entire fight. So whether you're lying or spreading fake news because you saw it somewhere, but I'm telling you, Lamont Roach was pushed down onto his knee, and Tank Davis fan took a screenshot when he was down and spread the screenshot. Like, look, he took a knee too. Look at the video. Nobody will ever show you a video of Lamont Roach just taking a knee. Nobody, because that never happened. Ben Sanders says, all I can say, it was a great fight regardless. I give you that, my brother. Without a shred of a doubt, that was a great fight. We was all glued to the TV. All of us. It was the WBA, my brother. Young Dade. Appreciate the correction. It wasn't the WBO, it was the WBA. And then the WBA, my peoples, they think they slick. They got fans confused because they came out with a statement saying that, well, we don't think that the referee is biased. You know, we're going with his judgment call, and we're just asking for the rematch. The president of the WBA had to retract that statement. Why? Because the WBA had fans thinking that a ruling was already made and it wasn't going to be overturned. But guess what? The WBA has no say in this. Not only they don't have no say, the WBA is biased, my people, because remember, the sanctioning body get a percentage from the fighter's purse. What does that mean? Very simple. If Tank Davis is their champion, they're going to make a lot more money than if Roach is the champion, because Tank Davis got a bigger purse. Tank Davis is the highest paid fighter in the 135 division, which means that the WBA want him to be the champion because they're going to make more money with him than they'll make with anybody else. Come on, my people. Don't listen to the WBA. The WBA is in their best interest for Tank Davis to be the champion, so they can make the most money out of that purse. Yo, think about this. If Tank Davis made $10 million, the WBA could make $100,000 out of that. If Lamont Roach made $1 million, the WBA will make $10,000. Look at the difference between them making $10,000 off of Lamont Roach and making $100,000 off of Tank Davis. Who you want to be the champion if you're going to make 10 times more money? Go get him money. Tank is the cash cow. Tank is their cash. Young Dade, cash cow. There you have it, my people. There you have it. The WBA is in no position to give their opinion on this matter because all they're doing is swaying the fans' opinion. The WBA want Tank Davis fans to believe, yep, that's it, we good. Nah, forget about what the WBA is saying. Yo, I'm going to put it to you like this. I'm gonna put it to you like this. The WBA saying that they good with that decision, yo, that's like McDonald's telling you, we got the best French fries. Of course you're going to tell me you got the best French fries. That's what you make money off. McDonald's is never going to tell you, well, you know, Burger King got the best French fries. They're going to say we got it because they want to sell their product and make money. So the WBA, if they're making the most money with Tank Davis, of course they're gonna be happy with the decision. Of course, that's where they're gonna make the most money at. So broke up over boxing 860. You're going back to what I said. The money makes the rules, but that's the problem. The WBA doesn't make the rules. The WBA is not the ones who are reviewing this fight. They simply just throwing their opinion out there because they want Tank Davis to stay the champion. Yoda, it makes sense why Tank never fought Edwin. I mean, Edwin de los Santos is a tough fight for anybody. And I think it's crazy that people went down hard on Shakur because the way that fight played out. Yo, there's nobody in boxing that's just going to walk through De Los Santos. Ain't nobody smoking him, my peoples. Simple as that. Nobody smoking him. The guy can fight. He got quick hands. He got power in both hands. And he got nasty footwork. Especially if Mickey D's is the only fast food in the area. Yo, Mickey D's telling you they got the best French fries. But as soon as you walk in Burger King, they're going to tell you they got the best French fries. As soon as you walk in and out, they're going to tell you they got the best French fries. It's all about being biased for your interest. Hash Dash, what do you think when Tank chose to fight Lamont because Tank haters said Tank was cherry picked? I mean, we could potentially say Lamont Roach was a cherry pick gone wrong. We could say that. Lamont Roach, we could say was a cherry pick gone wrong. And the reason I tell you he was a cherry pick gone wrong, if we watch the fight, Tank Davis did what he usually does. He started real slow, started taking his time, lost the first few rounds like he usually does, and he was planning to knock him out later on. When that knockout didn't come, they was desperate. Look at the corner, my peoples. Look at what they were saying to Tank Davis in the corner on the 8th round, after the 8th, after the 9th, after the 10th. Yo, you gotta let your hands go. You gotta put hands on him. They were pressuring Tank like, yo, you gotta pick it up. You gotta pick it up. Desperation came. When they saw the knockout wasn't coming, desperation came, my peoples. They saw like, oh man, we're not gonna be able to knock this guy out. So he is a cherry pick gone wrong because they thought they was gonna knock him out. I thought they was gonna knock him out. All of the fans watching thought they was gonna knock him out. Now we gotta see how that plays out. But this review, my peoples, the decision from the New York State Athletic Commission is gonna go viral. I promise you. I don't think it's gonna take much longer for them to render a decision. Whether they decide to leave it as is or overturn it, we're gonna find out soon. And it's gonna be controversy no matter what. Because if they overturn it and do what's right, follow the rules of boxing, Tank Davis fans are gonna be mad. Tank Davis fans are gonna be mad because y'all don't want it to be overturned. So following the rules is gonna get people mad. But if they don't overturn it, it's gonna be controversial as well. Because now I'm telling you, you're setting a precedent that other fighters in the future can also take a knee, and you cannot do a point deduction. Hash Baz, why is that? Because Tank told us he was nice, that Lamont is the best fighter he facing. I mean, we still got to consider the fact that Lamont Roach was a champion in the 130 division, moving up to fight at 135. And Hash Baz, I want you to remember something. Forget about what Tank Davis says, my brother. Tank Davis is going to say what's best to his convenience so his wins could look good. Lamont Roach was a 20-1 underdog. I can't even remember when's the last time a 20-1 underdog went the distance with a champion. Yo, a 20-1 underdog is supposed to get knocked out before the 5th round. 20-1 underdog, my peoples. Marcus Pelt, Do the thing, which is follow the rules. Appreciate that, my brother. You see, that's what I'm talking about. If you want to protect the integrity of the sport, if you care about boxing, if you care about the sweet science, you should want the rules to be followed, my peoples. Because not following the rules will take a sport to shit. That's when people say, yo, look, you give them ammunition to say, this is rigged, this is fake, and not to mention every other fighter could now take a knee, because if Tank took a knee and it was okay, well, I could take a knee too. If they don't follow the rules, my people, they could ruin the sport of boxing. Frank says, I underrated Roach's boxing IQ. What I felt myself is like, you know what? Roach is not a power puncher. He's not going to be able to keep Tank off of him for more than 6-7 rounds. Tank is going to eventually catch him. But he didn't catch him. So I think most of us didn't see Roach's, not just his ring IQ, but his close range distance. At close range, this guy did not fight Tank Davis by running around. Tank Davis didn't have to follow him all over the place. Ben Sanders, my brother, I just subscribed. Yo, I appreciate it, my brother. I see some people hit that like button. I appreciate you for subscribing. And, you know, I'm surprised how many boxing fans are showing me love. And I always tell everybody, I don't expect you guys to agree with everything I say. And I'm not going to agree with everything you say. But I do respect everybody's opinion. I do respect the fighters. And I appreciate the love that y'all giving me, my peoples. Again, yo, when it comes to that Tank Davis, Lamont Roach decision, if they leave it as is, you're setting a precedent that from here on out, fighters can take a knee and pause the action. Do we really want that? Do we really want a sport of boxing where now fighters can take a knee to pause the action and say, no, look, I have something in my eye? Because technically, if you could do that, you can do that in every round. A fighter who would have got knocked out in the 4th round, he could just take a knee in every round and avoid getting knocked out and go the distance. Any fighter, you imagine a sport of boxing where fighters just start taking a knee to avoid getting knocked out? Illuminati 777, y'all know it's other boxers besides Tank Davis, right? There's other boxers, but it's not other boxers who took a knee, broke the rule, and are under review right now. That's what everybody's talking about. Now, I'm assuming you're a Tank Davis fan, and because you broke the rules, and that's really hard to defend that, you don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about other boxers. I could be wrong, but that's what I see happening a lot. Brian Grigsby, it's Tank's fault. It was called a knockdown, would be 10-12. So, this is what we got to understand. We don't even have to debate the scorecards, because we already know, as of right now, 2 scorecards have it a draw. If you take those 2 scorecards and you remove that point, or you award Lamont Roach an extra point, he won the fight. He won the fight. Right then and there. So, yo, just business. Appreciate you, my boy. You already know what it is. We talking facts. That's why when we go back and forth on opinion, I simply say, okay, we all have an opinion, but let's just go by the facts, my peoples. It's easy to have your own biased opinion for the fighter that you want to win. But let's talk about facts. The rules of boxing say if you take a knee, it's an automatic point deduction. The referee started counting. And for no reason, he stopped. He decided, oh, I'm not going to count no more. When have you ever seen that, my peoples? Broken up over boxing, but you can't assume everyone is a Tank fan. I mean, you're right about that, my brother. You can't assume everybody's a Tank fan. But if you're ignoring the rules of boxing and you're saying the decision needs to stay as is, I think Tank won the fight. or they don't need to review it. It doesn't make any sense. Or you start bringing up other fights like, well, what about this fight? What about that fight? You're 100% a fan of Tank. Because all of your arguments are based on what favors Tank, while at the same time you're ignoring the rules of boxing. Meanwhile, I'm not attacking Tank. I'm not telling you Tank is not a good fighter, Tank is overrated, Tank. No, 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 no. I'm telling you the rules of boxing were not followed by the referee, and that is under review. Is that really? I want you to think about that. If I tell you the referee did not follow the rules of boxing, the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing that. They're reviewing round number 9. And they may and should overturn it because the rules were not followed by the referee. Is that really hating on Tank Davis? Is that really hating? Or am I simply saying follow the rules of boxing with every fighter? So look what you're saying, Hash Baz. A point should have been took away, but we don't know if it would have a difference. You see? You're not using simple mathematics. 2 scorecards have a draw. Those 2 scorecards will have Lamont Roach winning the fight if there's a point deduction. So of course we know that there's a difference. There is a difference. Lamont Roach wins the fight by 1 point with that point deduction. All we have to do is, listen, there's a reason, my peoples, that the New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing this. I'm going to put it to you like this to give you an even better understanding. Let's say Tank Davis won this fight by a wide margin. Let's say that Tank Davis won it 9 rounds to 3, right? And he did take a knee, and they didn't take a point deduction. But he won 9 rounds to 3. If that would have happened, there would be no review right now. Because that 1 point would make no difference. They wouldn't even review it. They will come out and say, listen, they missed the call, but Tank won 9 to 3. Whether or not we give him a point, he's still going to win anyways. The reason why they reviewing it, my peoples, is because that 1 point deduction is the reason why 2 cards had it a draw. The moment you put that point deduction into the play, Tank Davis loses on 2 scorecards, my peoples. So of course there's a big difference with that 1 single point. We have a draw on 2 cards. That 1 point is going to break that draw. Love More Hinduism says, Tank and Haney protected by the refs. I mean, you could say that. I respect that. I don't know exactly many instances where they've been protected by the ref. Now, somebody here, I don't remember who said on this same chat, oh, maybe the referee missed it. The referee, how could he have missed it, my brother? He started counting. He counted like up to 3 and then stopped randomly. So he definitely did not miss it. In the New York State Athletic Commission review, I could bet you, my peoples, that they call that referee in. That referee's getting interviewed, or probably was already interviewed. And they asked him, yo, why did you start counting and then stop? And he's going to have to give him an explanation. I don't know what's the explanation for it. I don't know it. If they overturn it, the WBA going to strip Lamont. I mean, I don't know how you came up with that, my brother. I have no idea how you came up with that. Like, there's no reason why the WBA would strip a champion. As a matter of fact, to show you that you're wrong, the WBA already said that they're going to push for the rematch, regardless. So that's what's really going to happen. Nobody going to strip him for being the rightful champion. Like, you're making that up out of thin air, my brother. Like, out of thin air, you're making that up. There's no reason why they will strip him. What the WBA is going to do is get an immediate rematch for Tank Davis. Which, by the way, there was a rematch clause in the contract anyways. If Tank Davis would have lost, if it would have been announced as a victory for Lamont Roach, Tank Davis would have activated his immediate rematch and would have got it. So if they overturn that decision, there's a rematch clause. He's going to be able to get it right away. Go get the money. Nah, I was being funny because they don't want him to have it, seems like. Oh, no, you're right about that, my brother. The WBA definitely does not want Lamont Roach to have that strap. They're going to make 10 times less money with Lamont Roach. As of right now, the WBA would love Tank Davis to keep that strap for as long as possible. Because as long as Tank Davis got that belt, the highest paid fighter in the division is going to have a WBA title and pay WBA sanctioning fees every time he defends that title. The WBA make a shitload of money off of Tank Davis. They would make this much if Lamont Roach is the champion. So of course they want him to have that. Of course. But at the end of the day, I keep reminding everybody, the WBA has no say in the decision. The New York State Athletic Commission and the WBA are two separate entities. The only thing the WBA could do was that slick shit that they did before yesterday, where they put out a statement saying, we don't think the referee was biased, we're okay with the decision, and we're going to push with the rematch. That was a slick move because they already put it out there that they're cool with the decision. That was a real slick move. So it's a family gang. Good morning, my G. Appreciate you dropping in. Hash Bash says, we saw Floyd told Tank, you're losing in a fight, and then Tank went for the KO and got it. That's the reason why I point it should have been taken away. Look, my peoples, I'm going to tell you like this. Tank Davis underestimated Roach. He thought that he was going to knock him out later into the fight. He started off slow. He got behind on the scorecards. When the knockout didn't come, they started getting desperate, and the knockout still didn't come. Yo, he was trying to land that big punch. Lamont Roach was just ready for it, my people. Brian Grigsby says, you guys are assuming that the fight would have went the same way if it was called a knockdown. Clearly, Tank would have fought the last 3 rounds different. He could have knocked down Roach. What you think Tank was trying to do? You don't think he was trying to knock him out? You didn't see Tank in round number 9, round number 10, round number 11, like really, really trying? My brother, he was trying. He just could not knock him out. He could not drop him. Tank Davis didn't even hurt Lamont Roach in that whole fight. Yet you're saying, oh, he could have knocked him down if he wanted to. What? You don't think he was trying to do that? He got behind on the cards thinking he was going to knock him out. The knockout never came. And again, what you're saying is a way of protecting Tank because you're saying, oh, he would have did something else. He tried to do something else, brother. He just couldn't do it. Trust me, he was trying hard. Matter of fact, in the 10th and 11th round, Tank did this more than once. Look at me right now and tell me I didn't see Tank do this. When he stood right there, like this, waiting for Lamont Roach so he could counter. And Lamont Roach would throw it, he would go, boom, and try to counter Lamont. Yo, he was trying. Brian Grigsby, Tank was trying to get that knockout punch. He tried it in round number 10, tried it in round number 11, tried it in round number 12. It just didn't happen. He wasn't able to stop him. But what you're saying retroactively, oh, well, Superman, salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. What you're saying is that, well, Tank would have done something different. That doesn't really matter. As of right now, the scorecards, 2 of them are a draw. And that point deduction would make Lamont Roach the winner. That's just the way that it is. We could go back and forth about what could have happened, what should have happened, what we think will happen. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. The real facts, I'm talking facts, right? The real facts are that 2 scorecards stand as a draw. And the real facts is that a point deduction did not happen. The real facts is that that point deduction is under review right now, my peoples. I'm just trying to give you the facts. I'm just trying to give you the facts. I give fruits. Good job. Boxing will be fixed because Dana White and TKO boxing is rigged and needs to be more like UFC. I agree with you 100%. UFC, in fact, a lot of boxing fans have left boxing and went over to UFC. Why? Because UFC, as soon as two big names are in there, they make them fight each other. UFC does not protect nobody's oath. That's why you see the best fighters in the UFC. Look at Adesanya now. He got like three losses already. Look at the best fighters. Most of them, they got losses. Why? Because they make them fight each other. They make the best fight the best all the time. Hold on. BMF Media Inc. True Talk. Appreciate you, my brother. Salute. Cypher 22, you spoke facts about the review. About the review of the point deduction. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. When there's a review, they're not reviewing, our opinion of what we think happened. They're not reviewing our opinion about what should have happened, No. They're specifically reviewing round number 9. What happened? What's the rule followed? And in the sport of boxing, that rule is very, very clear. And this is all I'm going to tell you about that rule. The referee, somebody told me earlier, well, maybe the referee missed it. He didn't see it. Number one, he saw the knockdown. It was right next to him. And number two, he started counting. So that tells you he knows the rule because he started counting. Now, why did he stop counting? I don't know. I don't know why he stopped counting, my peoples. I have no idea. You could tell me why he stopped counting. But I tell you what, though, I promise you, in that review process from the New York State Athletic Commission, they bringing in that referee, or maybe they already did, and he's being interviewed, and he's gonna have to explain why he started counting and then he stopped out of nowhere. He's gonna have to give an explanation for that. Hash Baz, I'm a Tank fan. I saw the fight 7-5 for Tank. And I also understand if someone had it for Lamont. And I'm happy with the draw. And let's see it again. I'm with you, my brother. I had it for Lamont Roach even without the knee. Without the knee, I had Lamont Roach winning. And I'm going to tell you why. And I want you guys to keep this in mind. Robert says, and the new. So I'm guessing you see the decision being overturned. But I'm going to tell you why, my peoples, I see Lamont Roach winning this fight. Look at the first 4 rounds. Before we get into anything else. On Lace, salute, my brother. Look at the first 4 rounds. In the first 4 rounds, Tank Davis did not throw more than 7-8 punches per round. But that's normal for him. He does that all the time. If you look at Tank Davis versus Frank the Ghost Martin, guess what? Tank Davis lost the first 3 rounds on every single judge scorecard. You don't have to take my word for it, my people. You could Google it. You could look at the scorecards. On every scorecard, he lost the first 3 rounds. Now, look at the first 4 rounds of Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Who's pressing the action? Who's landing more punches? Who's constantly backing up and doing lateral movement without throwing that many punches at all? The first 4 rounds, Tank spent it just moving around and once in a while counterpunching. He literally didn't do almost nothing in the first 4 rounds. I promise you, Lamont Roach got those. Easy. So if you look at the first 4 rounds, and you could see that Lamont won them because Tank wasn't really doing anything. For you to see a draw, that means that Tank Davis would have to win 6 out of the last 8 rounds. Is there anybody in this chat that can look at me in the eyes and honestly say, yo, Tank Davis won 6 out of the last 8 rounds? Can anybody say that and be honest with yourselves? Brian Grigsby says, facts. Is the ref dropped the ball and had nothing to do with Tank. The replay system wasn't working, but It still wasn't Tank's fault. Must be a rematch only. So look, what you're saying is that because it's not Tank's fault, there shouldn't be a point deduction. So I'm with you. You haven't heard me saying that it's Tank Davis' fault. But he took a knee. That's a point deduction that was missed. And that is under review right now. That's under review right now. Black Jericho, salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. And yo, I see a few people hit that like button. I see a few people also subscribe to the channel. If you're new to this channel, I appreciate you, my peoples. Real talk. I gotta say, man, the New York State Athletic Commission, they got their back up against the wall, my peoples. So, Five Nice, everything says rematch only, draw is justifiable. When you say draw is justifiable, my brother, then that means that you're putting Tank Davis above the rules of boxing. That's what you're saying. Because you're suggesting that the point deduction that was missed by the referee should not be put into play. On Lace, I gave Roach rounds 10, 11, and 12. Fraser Armstrong, Scotland. Yo, if you're hitting us from Scotland, my peoples, appreciate you dropping in. Cito, who they had winning the last 2 rounds? Because I had Roach winning the 2 championship rounds, 11 and 12. Do it, my boy. Tank versus Masayo, good fight. That's a heck of a fight. I want to tell you like this, my peoples. I only see real hardcore Tank Davis fans saying that they happy with a draw. Because again, Tank Davis fans are so loyal that they put Tank above the rules. They put Tank above boxing. So the moment I say, yo, you got to follow the rules, not just for Tank, for everybody. That's just the way that it should be. I'm called a hater. I wanted to see Tank lose. I'm hating on him. Meanwhile, I predicted he was going to knock Tank out. I predicted Tank was going to knock him out by or before the 8th round. So, Five Nice at everything. No. Just saying the stuff everyone says is controversial was not called. It did happen, true, but in all, Roach don't do enough. 7-5 Tank. If the knee couldn't, Tank would have lost. So I want you to think about this, my boy. 7-5 Tank, that's your scorecard. But the scorecards are not up for debate, my brother. We already know that 2 scorecards have it a draw. So if that point deduction, which is part of the rules, is followed, Roach is going to be ahead on those 2 scorecards. That's why I tell everybody, my opinion, I feel like Roach won the fight without the knee. That doesn't matter what I feel. You feel like Tank Davis won 7-5. That doesn't matter what you feel. Because at the end of the day, what really matters is the scorecards. 2 scorecards have it a draw. There's a point deduction that is under review right now. The New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing what happened in round number 9. Do it, my boy says. Tank going to retire. Lomachenko retired. Haney's a loser. I like 90s and late 20s boxing. Nah, man, come on, my brother. There's a lot of great boxing going on. There's a lot of great fighters right now. Superman says, I agree, but sports are corrupt. And that's why we're now looking, that's why now it looks this blatant. I could make a point for all sports, but this is Tank and Roach topic, so I'll stick to it. I appreciate it, my brother. You're 100% right. There's corruption in every sport. But when it's right in front of our face, we need an explanation. Even Tank fans haven't been able to explain why did the referee start counting and then he stopped. Why? Tell me, when in your life have you seen a referee start counting because a guy went down on a knee and then out of nowhere just stop counting? That just that just doesn't happen, my people. There's no explanation for that. That referee's giving an explanation to the athletic commission. And that's why the New York State Athletic Commission can overturn this fight, this outcome. They can overturn it, my people. Hash Baz, boxing is good right now. And that's that guy who he likes in the 90s. I agree with you, my brother. Boxing is in a great state right now. The only problem is, that every once in a while, we get a crazy decision and people question it. People question the referees like they're doing now. People question the judges. But boxing is in a great state because we have a lot of talent, a lot of young talent coming up. Look at Abdullah Mason. Look at Richardson Hitchens. Look at Kermel Moulton. Look at Zabop, Shakur's cousin. Like, there's a lot of young talent coming up. So boxing is in a great state. We just need, for the rules to be followed so that people start feeling like boxing is rigged and boxing is fake. Steven Seal, Leonard Boldas paid everyone. Look, I'm going to tell you guys like this, man, and this is a little bit controversial. Let me read first what Superman said. Facts. We need an explanation. It's like some of those policies in our faces that we see but can't do anything about it. Let me put this out there, my peoples. When I went live, because I actually streamed that fight from beginning to end, when round number 12 went off, and I want you guys to remember this, and let me know in the comment if you remember this happened. Yo, in the last round when the bell went off, it took mad long for them to give the decision. I was like, during the live, I was like, yo, what's going on? Why they not giving the decision yet? It took a minute. And the more time it was taking for them to announce the decision, the more I was feeling like something was not right. Like, damn, they taking a long time. So I personally felt like it took a long time for them to give a decision because they was cooking the cards. That's it. That may sound controversial, but I felt like the cards got cooked. When they went to the scorecards, they had Lamont Roach ahead. They were like, nah, he can't walk out of here with his W. Cook them shits. And they made a few changes and made it a draw in 2 of the scorecards. That's it. Do it, my boy says. Tank disappoints boxing fans. I mean, Tank has his own fan base. And they're happy with Tank. They're happy with his opponent selection and all that good stuff. And they'll defend him at all costs. So Tank Davis, I think he disappoints a lot of boxing fans with the people he chooses to fight. And the fact that he don't fight champions in his own division and he doesn't really fight the best guys in his division. But Tank Davis fans support him. He has a big fan base and they'll support him fighting whoever he want to fight. And let me tell you something, my peoples. Let me tell you something. John Parham, I appreciate you, my brother. Yo, everybody, if you feeling this, man, if you feeling we talking the truth, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Show some love, my peoples. I want y'all to keep this in mind. Tank Davis has a huge fan base, and he was going to fight Jake Paul. In case you didn't know this, my peoples, in case you didn't know this, Jake Paul was in the arena, and the plan that they had was that Tank Davis was going to beat Lamont Roach, Jake Paul was going to step in the ring and challenge him, and they was going to fight. Can you imagine that? We all been dissing Jake Paul, talking about he a fake boxer. He's a YouTuber. And guess what? I guarantee you, if Jake Paul was going to fight Tank Davis fans was going to be cool with that. Tank Davis fans was going to be like, yeah, we cool with that. He could do whatever he want because he the face of boxing and he put butts in seats. Like, y'all wildin', my peoples. We wildin' out. A guy that the hardcore boxing fans are not supporting in Jake Paul because Jake Paul is only a big name because he has his own following. He has his YouTube followers. But real boxing fans, we don't give a damn about Jake Paul. There's 75 people up in here, man. I'm surprised if even one of you say, yeah, Jake Paul's one of my favorite fighters. Boxing fans ain't supporting no goddamn Jake Paul. Let's keep it 100, my peoples. Yet Tank Davis was almost ready to fight that dude. Do it, my boy says Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury. Ha ha ha. Man, Jake Paul's a clown. Real talk. Jake Paul, as of right now, is 0-1 versus professional boxers. And he lost to Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury isn't even ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies. This guy's more of a YouTube personality than he's a boxer. And he put all type of hands on Jake Paul. Hash Bass. It takes two to make a fight. Don't blame it on Tank because these guys only call him when Tank is scheduled to fight someone. That's not facts, my boy. You're not telling the truth right there. You're not. And I'm going to tell you why. When Tank Davis was going to fight Lomachenko, that they were in negotiations, and that fight fell through, right away Shakur called him out and said, yo, send me a contract. And look, Shakur's so smart that before they try to say Shakur priced himself out, Shakur put it out there, send me a contract, I'm going to sign it. I'm not going to send you a number. I'm not asking for a number. Send a contract. Tank Davis' own coach, Coach Cal, said, I don't want to fight with Shakur. Coach Cal said it on video. You can look it up right now. I don't want Shakur. We don't want Shakur. Tank Davis says Shakur's on the hit list. We're going to send him a contract. Guess what? They never sent him a contract. They never sent it. Lomachenko been asking for Tank Davis. Been asking for him for 4 years. When Tank was with the money team with Floyd, Floyd was like, nah, we're not going to fight him. He want to fight now because he's getting old. And he's in a rush. We not in a rush. Now they want to fight Lomachenko when the dude's almost 40 years old. Teofimo Lopez say, yo, what's up, Tank? Let's make it happen. And Tank was like, nah, I'm not going to fight him because he's a racist. So I'm not going to fight him. So when you say nobody want to fight Tank, that's cap, my brother. All the hungry lions in the 135 division been calling Tank Davis' name. And he haven't want to fight none of them. And the funny thing, remember what they were saying that Shakur is Shakur Tweederson because he be tweeting, right? Yo, Tank Davis done beat everybody up on Twitter. He done beat up Shakur, Devin Haney, Teofimo. He beat everybody ass on Twitter. But he said everything but let's fight. When have you seen Tank Davis say, yo, Shakur, let's fight? I'm sending you a contract. Teofimo, let's fight. I'm sending you a contract. Devin Haney, when you seen that? Tank is murdering everybody on Twitter. But he not sending nobody a contract. He's saying everything except let's fight. Come on now. We got to be honest with ourselves. And look, so you could see that I keep it 100. I can look at anybody in the eyes and say, Tank Davis is one of the best fighters in the 135 division. There's a lot of fighters. Tank Davis is one of them. He's the hardest puncher in the division. But I can also look at you in the eyes and tell you, Tank Davis' opponents been very carefully selected throughout his whole career. Tank even called out Crawford taking a knee. You see? Yo, and that's why I say it's funny that a lot of fans take a situation that didn't happen and they turn it into something else to defend Tank Davis. Tank calling Japanese monster. Japanese monster is 2 divisions below him. 2 divisions below him. How you calling a guy 2 divisions below you? So if Tank could go down 2 divisions, if he want Naoya Inoue to go up 2 divisions to fight him, why he don't go up 2 divisions to fight Boots? You see? Tank Davis fans be like, yo, the monster go up 2 divisions and fight Tank with your little ass. You want Tank to fight little ass champion. That's 2 divisions below him. Yo, Naoya Inoue is 5'2" or 5'3". This guy's mad little. Oh yeah, bring your little ass up and fight Tank Davis. So why Tank Davis don't bring his ass up 2 divisions and fight Boots? Why not? Why not? Ajana Haney, he should fight Shakur. I agree. Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson is the fight to make. That's been the fight to make. But Tank Davis will say everything and anything to Shakur except let's fight. He won't say let's fight. He won't send him a contract. His own coach is saying we don't want Shakur. Inoue versus Tank is a big money fight. You see, because you're a Tank fan and you want to see Tank fight the little guy. Tank Davis versus Jerome Boots Ennis is a big fight too. Why you don't want him to fight Boots? Why you want him to fight the little champion? Why? Like, that fight don't even make no sense. Think about this, my peoples. How many fighters you see calling out a guy from 2 divisions below them? How many fans are saying, yo, you should fight a guy from 2 divisions below? Who says that? Only Tank Davis fans want him to fight the little guys. Tay Flo, you're saying Tank is small, bro. Tank is small. Naoya Inoue is way smaller than him. Go look at Naoya Inoue, my brother. He a little dude. And by the way, Tank, you could say small in his division. In his division. But look at Tank's body. I'm going to remind you that Tank had to move up from 130 because he missed making weight. Tank Davis missed making weight in the 130 division and lost a title because he couldn't make weight in 130. And y'all out here saying that he should fight a guy from 2 divisions below him? Come on, man. Do y'all not believe in Tank Davis? That you need him to fight the little guys from lower divisions? Like, you must not believe in him. I see Tank Davis fans saying that he should fight smaller guys than him. Why you don't think that he should fight Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez? Why you don't think, if he's so great, that he should go up and fight Boots at 147? Oh, nah, he should fight the little guy that's 2 divisions below him. That's crazy work. That's crazy work, my peoples. Come on, my peoples. We got to be honest. Why is it, look. Why is it that Tank Davis fans always want him to fight smaller guys and y'all never want him to fight the best guys in the divisions? Why? You want everybody to fight the best except Tank Davis. Y'all wanted Terrence Bud Crawford to fight Boots, to fight Benavidez. Y'all want Canelo to fight Benavidez. But then when we bring up Tank, oh nah, fight little ass Naoya Inoue who's 2 divisions below you. Barrios, bro. Barrios was literally a Mickey Mouse belt holder in the 140 division when Tank Davis fought him. Barrios had never even beat a champion. He beat a guy like with 9 wins for a vacant secondary title. A vacant secondary title. Khan says, bro, you are dumb. You see, you don't even come with formulating a smart opinion. You come in with an insult. When you call somebody dumb, you're actually talking more about yourself than you're talking about them. You're not really talking about me, champ. You're talking about yourself. Barrios 6 feet. He was 135. Barrios wasn't a champion. Barrios has never been and never will be a pound-for-pound fighter. Barrios will never be looked at as the best 140-pounder. What are you telling me? What are you telling me about Barrios? Have you ever seen Barrios on a pound-for-pound list? Have you ever seen anybody say, yo, Barrios is one of the best in the division? No. I'll remind you that when Tank Davis chose to fight Barrios, Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion in the division. You had an undisputed champion who you could have fought for all the belts, and you went and fought the guy with the Mickey Mouse secondary title. Tank Davis, at the same time, had a secondary title in the 135 division, and then went and got another secondary title in the 140 division. Tank Davis is like the undisputed secondary champion, secondary title holder. I never seen somebody hold so many secondary titles at once. And the funny thing is that he went up to Barrios, took his secondary title to fool y'all, to fool Tank Davis fans into believing that he's a 3-division champion. And then he vacated that secondary title, that Mickey Mouse belt, without a single title defense. Come on now. Barrios is a 2-division champion. He's no chump. He's a 2-division champion. Okay, so tell me who are the champions that Mario Barrios beat. And I'm going to tell you, Mario Barrios is a good fighter. He's a good fighter. But he's not amongst the elite. He's not one of the best fighters in the division. He's never going to be in the pound-for-pound list. So when you beat Barrios, you beat a good fighter. I'm not going to take that away from you. You beat a good fighter. You beat a good fighter. But he's not a top-level guy, man. Come on now. Come on now. Let's stop that. Let's stop the cap. Steve Smith, Tank is the GOAT. That's your GOAT if that's how you feel that way. But I'm going to just ask you, Steven Smith, since you feel like Tank is the GOAT, can you name the great fighters that Tank Davis beat? Name the great fighters that Tank Davis beat. Because, you know, if you're a great fighter, that means that you beat great fighters. Who Tank Davis beat that made him a great fighter in your eyes? Pitbull Cruz is a great fighter? Damn. Didn't Pitbull Cruz get smoked the other day by Rayo Valenzuela? And he's a great fighter? Pitbull Cruz held the title once that he got from Rollies. And right after that, he got beat up. He's a great fighter? Damn, man. Y'all be lowering that bar. Like, for y'all, greatness is like nothing. Look, Tyflo, Ryan Pedraza Gamboa. Ryan has never been a champion in his whole career. Pedraza won a vacant title, lost to Tank Davis, and he's been a stepping stone ever since. He's been getting beat up by everybody. He's a gatekeeper. Pedraza's a gatekeeper. Another guy who's never been and never will be in any pound-for-pound list. And Gamboa was damn near 40 years old. By the way, Gamboa has also never won a title. The title shots that he got, he lost them. Tank Davis won the 135 title. I'm sorry, the 130 title in oh no, it was at 135, I think. Yeah. That was a vacant title that he won by beating like a 40-year-old Gamboa. Those are the best names in his resume. That's what made Tank Davis great. Ryan Garcia, who never won a title. Pedraza, who most people don't even know as being that good. Who's a good fighter. Not amongst the best and never will be. And washed up Gamboa. Come on, man. Come on, my people. We got to keep it 100. You saying, so why is Shakur great? Nobody says Shakur's great. He's an elite level talent. He got to beat the greats. He got to beat the greats too. But Shakur beat undefeated Oscar Valdez, who was a champion. And after Shakur beat him, Oscar Valdez became a champion again. So now you know that he's not a fluke. He beat a guy who was a reigning champion who became a champion again. You see Ty Flows, you say Valdez's ass. That's just being you see, that's what Tank Davis fans do. You will disrespect and discredit champions just to defend Tank. That's not necessary, my brother. That's not for you to save Valdez's ass. That's crazy work. And look, Cito saying Valdez burnt. He was an undefeated champion when Shakur beat him. He had never tasted a loss. He had never. You see, you're saying last fight. Look at when he fought Shakur when he was younger and undefeated. Not the last fight. He was younger and undefeated and a reigning champion. And after that, he won another title. So come on. You see? You don't, just for you to defend Tank Davis, you don't need to disrespect other fighters, my people. You don't need to downplay other fighters. You could keep it real and be like, he got it. He got that win. Because no matter what opinion you have, he's ass. Like, that's some real hating shit. He was still an undefeated champion. How many undefeated champions Tank Davis beat? I'll wait. If Isaiah Moore says if they overturn it, mark my words, Tank Davis retiring. To be honest, I don't think he's retiring if they overturn it. You know why I don't think that he's gonna retire if they overturn it? Because if they overturn it, and he has a rematch clause in in the contract, that means that in my opinion, he's gonna immediately activate that immediate rematch clause and fight him next. Number one, because he want to get his get back, and number two, because they're gonna get a huge bag for the rematch. They're gonna make a shitload of money for that rematch. So I'm saying now you burnt, but before Shakur, he was a champ. Bingo, my peoples. Right now, Oscar Valdez, he's done. But Shakur faced an undefeated Oscar Valdez who was a reigning champion. That's like Gamboa. Let me show you. Terrence Buck Crawford beat Gamboa in the 130 division when they was both young and Gamboa was doing his thing. Undefeated, young, fast, could take a punch, could give a punch. Tank Davis caught him with the dude was like damn near 40 years old and had already been beat up by a few fighters. Come on now. Haney is undefeated, got more belts than them. Ajana Haney, you're right. And Haney got a great resume. And I'm going to tell you like this right now, my people. Look, Devin Haney got a better resume than Tank Davis. Teofimo Lopez got a better resume than Tank Davis. So no matter what, we could discredit opponents and say, he a bum. Let's look at the resume. Let's look at the numbers. Who beat more champions? Devin Haney beat more reigning champions than Tank. Teofimo beat more reigning champions than Tank. They both beat fighters that got a better resume than Tank. By the way, if anybody out here that's gonna hate on Lomachenko's going to the Hall of Fame as soon as he retires. When Lomachenko retires, he's going straight to the Hall of Fame. Which means Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez both have a Hall of Famer in the resume. What Tank Davis got in his resume? Y'all brought up Ryan Garcia, who never won a title. Y'all brought up Pedraza, who, forget about Hall of Fame. This dude never been in a pound-for-pound list, never been considered one of the best in the division. Who Tank Davis beat? So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. These guys have a better resume. We could knock on their opponents. We could hate on their opponents. They have a better resume, my peoples. Wayne Maloney. Styles make fights. You're right 100%. Leo Santa Cruz. Broke over boxing, 860. That's a good name that you brought up, Leo Santa Cruz. But when did Tank Davis fight him and in what division? Tank Davis fought Leo Santa Cruz at the 130 division. So let me just remind you one thing. Leo Santa Cruz was special and did great things at 130. But, I'm sorry, at 125, 126. But at 130, my peoples, what has Leo Santa Cruz done besides get beat up? Yo, I'm gonna put it to you like this. Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is gonna go to the Hall of Fame because how many champions he did, everything he accomplished. But what did he do at 147 besides get beat up? He was too little, moved up to 147. Errol Spence pummeled him, and a couple more people beat him up. Sandor Martin beat him up. So he's a nobody at 147. He's a Hall of Famer, but he's a nobody at 147. Leo Santa Cruz is the same thing. He moved up to 130, got beat up by Tank. He had a vacant title. Leo Santa Cruz never beat a champion in the 130 division. So Tank caught him in a division that he moved up, and he a nobody. Tank Davis did not beat the Hall of Fame version of Leo Santa Cruz that it was in a lower division. He beat the guy that moved up, and it's a nobody in that division, just like Mikey Garcia is a nobody at 147. Ryan by brutal KO. Ryan never won a title. Ryan isn't a champion. Ryan's, look, you see how somebody just said, Cito says Ryan by brutal KO. I'm going to show you a trend in Tank Davis' career. An easy trend. That's why I like facts over opinion. Ryan Garcia never fought for a title before getting in the ring with Tank. Frank the Ghost Martin never fought for a title before getting in the ring with Tank. Rolly Romero never fought for a title before getting in the ring with Tank. Are you seeing a pattern here? Tank Davis fights a lot of people who never fought for a title. And they're getting their first title shot against Tank Davis. I'm showing you. If you don't know this by heart, you can look it up. These guys never fought for a title before Tank gave him a shot. So Tank has done a great job of beating guys who never fought for a title and beating guys who were moving up from a lower division to fight him. I'm not even going to mention the rehydration clause. I'm not even going to mention that. Tank Davis basically has an advantage in every single fight. The guy who never fought for a title and the smaller guy who's moving up to fight him. Oh, Pitbull Cruz never fought for a title before fighting Tank Davis either. And look what Seagraph says. I'm a fan of Tank Davis, but I think he lost that fight. You see, because there's people out here that will keep it real. Somebody said that it's Tankomaniacs. They calling them Tankomaniacs now. The people that defend Tank at all costs. Don't give a damn about the boxing rules. He was 21. Mark, when you say he was 21, what are you referring to, my brother? Do It My Boy says, who are the best boxer in modern boxing in your opinion? I mean, right now there's a lot of very good boxers. You know, to me, Terrence Crawford, obviously, but Terrence Crawford, at 36, 37 years old, he's at the tail end of his career. So he's not going to be at the top for a lot longer. You got to say Jerome Boots Ennis is one of those guys that he's one of the best guys in boxing. Virgil Ortiz, he's up there as well. They got to fight each other. We got to find out. Dimitri Bivol, he's a pound-for-pound fighter. Arthur Beterbiev, even though he lost to Bivol, but Beterbiev is 40 years old. He's almost on his way out. But he's one of the best fighters in boxing as well. This Canelo, he's still in the mix. I think Terrence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez, by the way. When they fight in September, so Ty Flows, Boots ain't fought nobody yet. You're right. But that happens to every great fighter. Every great fighter has a stage in their career. Oh, wait, Benavidez, one of the best too. Every great fighter has a stage in their career where fans say those words. Oh, he ain't fight nobody yet. He ain't fight nobody yet. You got to understand, my brother, when you're one of the best fighters in the game, people don't want to fight you. They either don't want to fight you or they want a career payday to fight you. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. I'm a Tank fan and I respect all fighters, but just open my eyes about a lot of stuff. Big J, salute my brother. And I've been telling everybody, my peoples, I want you to really keep this in mind. Isaiah Moore, no doubt. Benavidez is all about that smoke. He's about that life. I tell everybody, this decision from the New York State Athletic Commission can set a precedent. This can even ruin the sport of boxing, my peoples. I want you to think, if they say, no, we're going to leave it like that, you're setting a precedent that from here on out, fighters can pause the action by taking a knee and nothing is going to happen. That means that any fighter who's taking a beating, who might get knocked out, they could do a quick step back, so it's not from a punch, and they could take a knee and pause the action and say, nope, I got something in my eye, hold on. It could even ruin the sport of boxing. You could just take a knee whenever you feel like it. You imagine that? If people could just take a knee whenever they feel like it and pause the action, take a quick break, that will ruin the sport of boxing, yo. Go get the money says won't be any more knockouts. I mean, think about it. If somebody hurt me and I feel like you might knock me out, I just got to take a back down, take a knee, and take a little break. Broke up over boxing, my brother. You told me you were not biased, but you're up here making this man Tank look like he has trash fighters. I don't understand. You're saying that I'm making him look like he got trash fighters by me saying the truth? Because I didn't say Ryan Garcia was a bum. I said he never fought for a title. I didn't say Frank Martin was trash. I said he never fought for a title. So me saying that these guys never fought for a title, I'm just stating the facts, my brother. I didn't call any of them trash. I'm stating the facts. He's fighting guys who never fought for a title, and he's fought a lot of guys who moved up in division to fight him. I never said none of them were trash. Not one. In fact, if you ask me about their skills, I will tell you they're all good fighters. But they never fought for a title. You're giving them their first title shots. You're making it look like the kid didn't do nothing in boxing. Nah, I'm not making it. How am I making it look anyway? By stating the facts. How could I be making it look like when I'm just stating the facts? We could look at his resume and I could tell you, look, this guy, this guy, this guy. If you look at Pitbull Cruz, Frank the Ghost Martin, Ryan Garcia, Rollies, they never fought for a title before fighting Tank. I'm not calling them trash. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm just calling it exactly how it is. I have not heard you say one positive thing about the kid. So there you go. You see, you want me to say something positive, but I'm not saying something negative either. You see, that's the thing. I'm not saying positive or negative. I'm stating the facts. I'm not even saying my opinion. And by the way, you're wrong about that, because it wasn't even 10 minutes ago that I say, yo, Tank is a great fighter. He just hasn't fought great opponents. I said Tank is one of the best in the division. I said that Tank is the hardest puncher in the division. That's not positive? So you're not listening to the positive things that I'm saying about Tank, because you're focusing on the fact that he's facing non-champions, and I'm pointing that out. I'm only speaking the facts. He has defeated more undefeated opponents than all of the others. Okay, he has defeated. I never said that he hasn't. But those undefeated opponents never fought for a title. How many? You see, you said the magic words, undefeated opponents. But how many undefeated champions has he fought? That's the magic question. That's why I say Tank Davis' career been very strategically picked out. His opponents have been very strategic. And it's been guys who never fought for a title and guys who are moving up in weight to fight him. That's the overwhelming majority. Look at the names. Those same guys that you're talking that are undefeated, they either never fought for a title or they move from a lower division. That's not hating. I'm just stating the facts. I'm showing you that if we compare his resume to Teofimo Lopez, if we compare his resume to Devin Haney's resume, it's not comparable. These guys already beat a solidified Hall of Famer. And when I ask you, who's the best opponent in Tank Davis' resume, what are the names that you could bring up? Broke up over boxing 860. Like I said, my brother, I'm a fan. I'm a fight fan, not a Tank fan. There are a lot far more fights coming. Talking about one fighter, it's Assassin. It's that you got to understand, my brother. This week, that's going to be the topic of conversation, and that will be something people will talk about because the review is up for grabs. We don't know what's going to happen in this review. Guess what? When that decision comes down, go to every YouTube boxing channel. What is everybody talking about? What is everybody talking about? It's a pending decision that may dictate Tank Davis will either keep the title or he's going to lose it to Lamont Roach. That decision is pending. We're all waiting for it. And you're saying, nah, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Let me ask you a question. Who's fighting this weekend? That's what you got to understand. The biggest fight of now is Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach because of what's going on. That's the biggest fight. That's the biggest topic of conversation going on in boxing. Cito says, Carmel Mo will be fun to watch, but he ain't it. He's young, but as of now, he's like a clone Tank. So I gotta say this, my brother. Carmel Moulton, I do believe in him. I believe that he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with in boxing. Do it, my boy. Box Center. Did you watch live? Of course. Not only did I watch it live, I streamed it. I streamed the fight. If you go to my Instagram right now, you can see the whole fight on my Instagram. I streamed it. I reacted to it. And I can tell you, the next day in the morning, I watched the fight once again. But I could tell you off the top of my head, without a shred of doubt, the first 4 rounds, Lamont Roach was the only guy that was working. Tank Davis was moving around, barely counterpunching. Did not throw 10 punches. In the first 4 rounds, Tank Davis did not throw 10 punches in any of those rounds. If you watch the fight, Tank Davis lost the first 4 rounds. So if he lost the first 4 rounds, it's hard to believe that he won 6 out of the last 8 rounds. That's crazy. Hashbaz says, Carmel is special. The guy who's saying that doesn't have an eye. I agree with you, my brother. Carmel Moulton is a special fighter. I think, we got to take into account, the kid is 18 years old, man. Carmel Moulton is 18 years old. We can't expect him to be at a championship level. Go see the opponents that all of our favorite fighters were fighting at 18 years old. At 18 years old, you can look at anybody and they was fighting cab drivers, McDonald's burger flippers. They were fighting guys who were 1-2, 2 wins and 3 losses. That's the type of opponent they was fighting. So you can't expect Carmel Moulton at 18 years old to be out there ready to fight for a title. He's literally a kid. He's a teenager. Carmel's a teenager, my peoples. We can't expect him to be out there already preparing for a title shot. Carmel Moulton, my peoples, I'm telling you, he a special, special fighter, and he's going to accomplish a lot in the sport of boxing. He's going to accomplish a lot. Broke up over boxing 860. Look, I'm telling you off the top of my head, I bet you if we review the scorecards, what the judges scored, I bet you the Lamont Roach is going to have at least 3 of the first 4 rounds. Round number 2, round number 3, and round number 1, round number 2, and round number 4 went to Lamont Roach. Maybe round number 3 went to Tank in 1 or 2 of those cards. But the first 4 rounds, the scorecards are online. There you go. Go check out the first 4 rounds, who they went to. Check it out. Lamont Roach got ahead on the cards early on. 5 nights at everything says, running back is all I can say. Boxing has rules and regulations. The rules are discretionary. The regulations can't be changed. Simple as that, running back. When you say the rules are discretionary, I don't know how you came up with that, my brother. The rules are not discretionary. There's no gray area with the rules. I don't know how you came up with that, my brother. If the rules were discretionary, there would be no review. There would be no review. Why do you think there's a review? If you were right about what you're saying, there would be no review. The rules are not up for debate. They're not discretionary. That's why somebody yesterday told me, nah, the referee can decide if he want to make it a count, a knockdown or not. And he decided not. If that was the case, there would be no review, my peoples. Why do you think that there's a review? That's crazy for you to say the rules are discretionary. What? Then that means there are no rules. If you don't have to follow them, what are you talking about? Then there are no rules. That's crazy. That's some straight up oxymoron type shit. Like, there's no such thing as discretionary rules. Like, yo, listen, my brother. This is the first time in my whole life that I've ever heard that statement in one sentence. Rules and discretionary. Hash Baz, the review is because Lamont team wants it. No, my brother. You made that up out of thin air. You made that up out of thin air. It is a fact. The Athletic Commission already stated, we are reviewing it because when it happened, we had a glitch in the system and we were not able to replay it. Our replay had a glitch and we could not replay it. That is why they're reviewing it, my brother. So yes, Lamont Roach is asking for the decision to be overturned, but the New York State Athletic Commission is not reviewing because of Lamont Roach. You're making that up out of thin air, my brother. That's out of thin air. I'm speaking. Yo, I'm telling you, if you go back and you start watching my videos, you'll see that I don't make stuff up. I don't speak out of thin air. I don't just make it up, whatever I believe. Just business. Okay, you're a boxing expert, and you always say real towards boxers. Who are your top 5 boxers? Rules are rules. Like no mouthpiece after the 5th round. What are you talking about? No mouthpiece after the 5th round. I don't even know what you're talking about, my brother. You're asking me for top boxers, and then you're asking me for rules about a mouthpiece. I don't know what you're talking about, my brother. What do you think? Who's hard hitter, Roach or Tank? I mean, Tank Davis is the hardest puncher in the 135 division. There's no question about that. Hash Bash, tell me a ref decision that was changed. Well, Hash Bash, you tell me a fighter that took a knee and had a decision that needed to be changed. I never seen it. John Parham, Superman, I paid $10 to be True Media member. It's not about the money. Broke up over boxing. John Parham, you're right. That's why they gave it a draw. Listen, my peoples, this situation, we're going to find out soon enough. I believe that a decision from the New York State Athletic Commission is coming soon. And we're going to find out. But I'm going to just remind y'all, if they decide not to overturn the decision, That means that any fighter can take a knee mid-round and walk away from their opponent and stick their head out the ring to have their corner clean them. It's like y'all not understanding how the rules work. There were 3 rules that were broken within like 10 seconds, my peoples. Number 1, he took a knee, the referee didn't do nothing. Number 2, he turned his back on his opponent and the referee. Y'all have no idea how many fighters been waved the moment they turn their back around. You know, protect yourself at all time and all that good stuff. And then your corner climbing in the apron and helping you mid-round while the clock is ticking, that's grounds for disqualification. That's grounds for disqualification. So I'm just telling y'all what the rules are. If they allow Tank Davis to break the rules, guess what? Who else could break the rules? A fighter's going to start taking a knee now? Broke up over boxing 860. Why did the ref stop counting? He's going to have to explain himself. Jose Chavez, Tank should have been disqualified, period. You're right. The moment he went to his corner and they went on the apron while the clock is ticking, he should have been disqualified. But we know he's a big star. He's the cash cow. He put butts in seats. Everybody in that arena was there to see him. If the referee would have disqualified them, that could have been problems. That could have been some serious problems. Shit could have went down in that arena. So they're not trying to disqualify Tank Davis, the biggest star in the building. They not. And look, Love More Hinduism says only the ref can stop the action. You're right, my brother. The referee's the only person that can say, wait, and call the timekeeper to pause the clock. There was no pause. The clock was ticking when Tank Davis' corner was on the apron cleaning his face. Look, man, and I'm going to tell you like this. I know a lot of people are saying, yo, this Tank Davis thing. Mostly, in fact, I'm going to be honest, it's mostly Tank Davis fans that don't want to talk about it. It's mostly people who identify as Tank Davis fans are like, nah, I don't even want to talk about this no more. There's more fighters. Let's talk about something else. But this is what's going down right now, my peoples. This situation is evolving. We're waiting for a review that's taking place right now. Right now, we're trying to figure out what's going to be the final decision. El Pinchi, you're right. The ghetto Tank fight fans have started a riot. Yo, Tank fans are on defense mode. We're going to defend Tank at all costs. Damn the rules of boxing. Damn the review. We riding with Tank. And yo, I respect that, my peoples. You know, Tank fan base is a loyal fan base. And y'all gonna defend him no matter what. I respect that. Tank was having a bad night in the office. He's not unbeaten anymore. He'll be back stronger. I mean, as of right now, he got his undefeated record. We got to see what's going to happen. We got to see what's going to happen, my people. That's all I'm saying. Isaiah Moore, I'm a huge Tank fan. But the knee was a knockdown. See, because you're a Tank fan, but you're also a fan of boxing. You're a fan of boxing. You're not putting one fighter ahead of the sport of boxing. You're not putting one fighter ahead of the rules. And that's just not the way it is. That's just not the way that it is. We should support the sport of boxing. Double-edged logic. Tank bad night was Roach. Yo, it played out the way it played out. Tyler, gloves of steel. I'm with my boy Tank. I respect that, my brother. Now, we just have to see what the New York State Athletic Commission is going to do. What are they going to do? Are they going to leave the decision like that? Or are they going to overturn it? Newell says, most close rounds will go to the champ. You must beat the champion, Tank Davis, decisively. So, Newell, the problem with your take, my brother, is that we're not arguing about rounds anymore. The cards are already in. What we already know that is a fact is that two cards have it a draw. That's it. We're not arguing that, my brother. Two cards are a draw, and they're reviewing a point deduction that never took place. Tyler, I respect you. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. By the way, my peoples, I see some of y'all hit that like button. Some of y'all subscribe to the channel, new subscribers. I appreciate you. And like I said, man, I see people saying that I'm a Tank Davis hater. I don't hate on Tank, my peoples. I just respect the rules of boxing, and I feel like they need to be followed with every fighter. And I respect your personal opinion, Tyler. If you feel like it wasn't a draw, that's cool. But we already know that the cards are in, and it's a draw in two scorecards. So now, it's all about the point deduction. It's all about the point deduction, my peoples. I'm going to drop a sub, no stress. Salute, my brother. That's what it's all about. Right now, it's under review, and we're going to find out. I believe that the New York State Athletic Commission is going to have a ruling very soon, my peoples. So stay on it, because when they say this is what we're going to do, we're going to find out. It's going to be an explosion in social media. It's going to be viral, and the whole boxing world is going to be talking about it. I promise you. I promise you, my peoples. But anyways, I'm about to sign off. Before I get out of here, my peoples, I want to say one love to everybody who hit that like button. One love to everybody who subscribed. One love to everybody who's rocking with me. Again, yo, I love it when people who don't agree with me subscribe to the channel. You know why, my peoples? Because it shows that we don't all have to agree to talk about boxing. We don't have to have the same opinion. In fact, if we all had the same opinion, it would be a whack conversation. It will be a whack debate. If we're all saying the same thing, ain't really nothing to debate about. That's what makes the conversation interesting. So I really appreciate it when people who don't agree with me subscribe to the channel, because we have good conversations on here. We have something to debate about. Y'all already know what it is, my people. Salute to everybody for rocking with me. I appreciate the love. Y'all already know, man. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. I'ma see y'all tonight, 5 o'clock Eastern time. We got to talk a little bit more about Teofimo Lopez, Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. They're all going to be fighting in New York City, in Times Square, surrounded by skyscrapers. That's going to be bananas. I'm so looking forward to that card, my peoples. Y'all already know, man. One love to everybody. Shout out to everybody who's showing me love, who's supporting the channel. We're going to keep going up, my peoples. When we Box Center, we unstoppable. What we're going to do in boxing is going to be big, I promise you. Some surprises coming up. I'm going to be rocking. Y'all going to see me rocking with some fighters, and y'all going to see what's going on, my peoples. I got some real good surprises for y'all. Yo, one love to everybody, my peoples. Real talk. Your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show, my peoples. I'm out of here. Peace.